Have you ever vanished without a trace, leaving behind a crashed vehicle, your personal belongings, and more questions than answers? Before Daniel Robinson became the center of one of Arizona's most baffling missing persons cases, he was known as a determined young man who refused to let obstacles define him. Daniel was born in South Carolina in 1997. He entered the world with a significant physical challenge. He was born without the lower portion of his right arm. But according to family and friends, he never viewed that condition as a limitation. Growing up, Daniel played sports, stayed active, and developed a reputation for being independent and driven. Those who knew him often described him as intelligent, ambitious, and focused on building a successful future. His passion for science eventually led him to study geology at the College of Charleston, where he earned his degree and began pursuing a career as a geologist. After graduation, Daniel relocated across the country to Arizona, attracted by opportunities in environmental and groundwater research. By 2021, at just 24 years old, Daniel was working as a field geologist and hydrogeologist, spending much of his time traveling to remote desert locations to test groundwater and inspect well sites. It was the type of career he had worked hard to achieve, and by all accounts, his future looked promising. This is the mysterious disappearance of 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a case that continues to puzzle investigators, volunteers, and his family years later. It all began on the morning of June 23, 2021, in Buckeye, Arizona. Daniel Robinson arrived at a work site near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road, where he worked as a geologist for a water resources company. At first, it seemed like a normal work day, but around 9 a.m., a coworker noticed something unusual. According to reports, Daniel appeared disoriented and was acting strangely. Then, without warning, he got into his blue Jeep Renegade and drove away from the work site, straight into the surrounding desert. That would be the last confirmed sighting of Daniel Robinson. As concern grew, investigators and family members learned that Daniel had reportedly been experiencing personal struggles and displaying erratic behavior in the days leading up to his disappearance. But no one could explain where he went after driving away that morning. Weeks passed with no answers. Then, on July 19, 2021, nearly a month after Daniel vanished, a rancher made a startling discovery. Hidden in a remote desert ravine about 3 miles from Daniel's worksite was his blue Jeep Renegade. The vehicle was found resting on its passenger side. But what investigators found nearby only deepened the mystery. Daniel's clothes, including his shoes and socks, were scattered near the vehicle. His wallet, cell phone, and keys were also found in the area. Yet Daniel himself was nowhere to be found. As investigators examined the Jeep, another puzzling detail emerged. Data retrieved from the vehicle's onboard system suggested that the Jeep had continued traveling for miles after an initial airbag deployment. Some analysts argued that the final crash scene may not have occurred exactly as it appeared and raised the possibility that the vehicle had been moved or staged. Despite these questions, the Buckeye Police Department has consistently stated that there is no active evidence pointing to foul play. For Daniel's family, however, the search was far from over. His father, David Robinson, left his home in South Carolina and moved to Arizona. Refusing to let the case fade from public attention, he organized countless independent searches, worked with volunteers, spoke to national media outlets, and advocated for improvements in missing persons investigations. Year after year, search teams continued combing the harsh Arizona desert. The searches led to several discoveries of human remains in remote areas, but none belonged to Daniel. Today, Daniel Robinson remains missing. The Buckeye Police Department still considers the case active and ongoing. His family continues searching for answers, hoping that someone, somewhere, knows what happened after Daniel drove away into the desert on that June morning. Did Daniel suffer a mental health crisis and become lost in the unforgiving wilderness? Was the crash scene somehow manipulated? Or is there another explanation that investigators have yet to uncover? More than 3 years later, the mystery remains unsolved, and Daniel Robinson is still missing. If you have any information related to this case, contact the Buckeye Police Department. And if you found this story compelling, consider sharing it. because sometimes one new lead is all it takes to solve a mystery.